towards a referendum, I would just really ask you, despite it being very difficult, to be kind and compassionate to those that don't share the same views as you, because of the stronghold that this sort of narrative has had over people who mightn't be as privileged to be exposed to the politics that we've been brought up with. And I really think we're absolutely going to get this over the line, and Ireland will be such a fairer place because of it. And really it's kind of the first sort of step in a long road towards dismantling the church and state. And I just think that line I'll finish on is, when a stethoscope is a crucifix on your tummy, how do you have any choice but water? Thanks.
Just before I open up to some questions and comments from the floor, I just have two announcements. People Before Profit are part of the National Housing and Homeless Coalition. We're a pro-choice party, so that means that we support women who want to have abortions, and we also support women who choose to not. And with that, we know that there's 3,000 children in homeless accommodation at the moment. There's a huge protest organised on the 7th of April, and we're calling everyone to come out and support that. It's a really important cause. The other point I want to make is, People Before Profit, we're part of the Broad Together for Yes campaign, and we're really happy to be part of that. But we're a pro-choice party, and we believe that the political points do need to be made on the doorstep as well. So as well as canvassing with Together for Yes groups, their constituencies, there will also be People Before Profit canvassing going on. There's a list on your seats of where the canvases will be and on what days. And there's a good few organisers in the room. Brian's here, Dave's here, Nick's here, Sheeta's here. If anyone would like to get involved in People Before Profit or join any of the canvases, if they could just speak to one of the organisers. So I'm going to open the floor to questions and comments. Do you need the mic or no? No. John.
I just want to make a point in support of what Bree and Vincent and Anna were saying about the question of choice and the argument. The latest opinion poll shows that about 56% of the population are going to vote yes. There was also an opinion poll done by the Irish Times in January of this year, which showed about the same figure, 56% going to vote yes. But that poll was very interesting because it asked two other questions. It asked, where do you stand on the 12 weeks? Is it a reasonable compromise? And again, it came in 56%. And then they asked the third question, was, do you believe it should be a woman's right to choose? And the percentage of that is 60%. In other words, when you put it that way, the percentage of yes went up. That alone tells you that it's a strong argument for us to do something, not a weakness that we should shy away from. And it's right that it should be a strong argument, because it goes to the heart of the matter. As whose decision is it? Who gets to choose? It goes to the very heart of the matter about what this is really all about. And the last point I make on this is, when you actually have canvassing, 90% of the time when you talk to them, so you don't have a long involved argument, you have a one-liner. You get one sentence out, and that one sentence, I believe, should be, we believe it's a woman's choice. And if you get that argument across, people can say to themselves, I like abortion, I don't like abortion, I want this, I'll do this. It's the woman's individual choice. I think it's the argument for women in the
Just kind of on the issue of morality, when Renew was started, the Renew Party, when Lucinda Creighton started it, she gave this idea that somehow morality begun in the bedroom, and this was teachers couldn't vote on, say, a finance bill, a supply bill. They'd have to vote with the party, but with their conscience, when it came to abortion and stuff like that, they could vote whatever way they liked. And I think we have to challenge this idea that morality is just in the bedroom, or it just begins and ends in the bedroom. And we have to say that morality is more than that. The supply and the redistribution of wealth is an act of morality. I also want to agree with Vincent's point that we should be direct in what we're saying. We should be clear that we are saying that there are certain circumstances where pregnancy simply is not viable. It's not something we desire. We're not a pro-abortion party, we're a pro-choice party, and we want to say women have to have the right to choose. And put it simply like that, I think there's a little bit of concern that some of the Together for Yes people are a bit worried about talking about repeal and stuff like that, and they want to be a bit soft about it. And I think that's one thing we're just going to have to deal with. I think we really should be clear and straightforward with people.
Thanks. It's really just to ask Vincent why we, correct me if I'm wrong, suggest that we won't win this campaign. Most of us are out canvassing, like we in the working class areas. And in the working class areas, it's a very simple matter for them. It's about choice. We were in Markledge House, Pierce House, and all the kind of very poor working class areas where women would have to pay up to €1,000 to access an abortion. And they know that this is wrong. So they see this as their choice now. So we're not getting into details of fetuses and what trimester and all this kind of nonsense, which is a response to the pro-lifers. So we are out there. I don't agree necessarily that we're going to use this campaign. I think it's going to be very tight. I think when we move back to the fact that my two daughters are sitting here and I didn't even have a right to vote in that referendum in '83, it kind of brings that home to you. You're correct. There is a huge amount of misogyny in this country. But there is also a huge amount of young people, like my daughters here, who will fight for their rights today and are out on the streets. And it's about time that the right-wingers in the government listen to these. And one interesting thing in the flats on Saturday, the women didn't quite understand the yes or no side, and they said, is it no against the government and yes for repeal? And we said,
I'm just really glad to see that the poster, the for-profit poster, has trust women on it, because I think that's one of the most important things. Because what the anti-abortionists are saying and they're promoting at the moment is that you can't trust politicians. And their big argument, of course, today was Simon Coveney, who was supposed to change his mind about whether we should or shouldn't hold a referendum, and how we should actually call for the repeal and so on. And I actually think that they were trying to build on that on the basis of a bit like the Brexit thing, give the government a good kick in the teeth. They're using all the arguments that are in the booklet as well, calling on, and sort of saying it's billionaires who are telling you it's the government, all these people you can never trust. And I think that you have to keep saying, absolutely, don't trust politicians, trust the women. Let the women be the people who have the choice, let the women who make that choice. And I think it's a great poster for that reason, that we really have to stick to that word of trust women.